Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome my friends. Welcome to another video lecture from Kami Biology. In this video lecture we are going to talk about metronidazole. Actually sulfonamide is our last video which are regarded with antibiotic, but whenever I was preparing antibiotic lecture videos lecture, so then I also saw metronidazole antibiotic as well. So we can say that metronidazole will be our last video lecture which are related with the antibiotic videos lecture. Now in this video lecture what we are going to talk about, metronidazole. Now this metronidazole is a kind of antibiotic that can produce what? That can produce free radical molecules. So let me write. They can produce what? They can produce free radical molecules. Free radical molecules we can say. Now these free radical molecules can cause damages to the cell. Cause damages. Actually they can cause damages to DNA. Not only DNA, we can also say the cell membrane, other organelles which are present in the cell also. So these free radicals are against the DNA as well as the other molecules are also. But actually in usual cases or in common cases they can usually target the DNA. Now the drugs which are used in metronidazole, these drugs are actually flagell. So flagell will be our drugs which are used in the metronidazole. Now what are the mode of action of this metronidazole? Now the mode of action of this metronidazole is that they can produce, as I told you, free radical molecules. Now how they can produce these free radical molecules, let's talk about that. We can also say that why this metronidazole are not affected our own cells, because our own cells have also the DNA. But what actually happen, our own cells produce antioxidant against these free radicals. So once our body produce antioxidant, so definitely the free radical compounds will be not affected to our own cell. So actually how these free radical compounds will be produced and what are the mechanism of action of these drugs, let me talk. First of all, inside the bacterial cell there is a Krebs cycle process occur. All of you better know Krebs cycle, or we can say tricarboxylic acid. So during tricarboxylic acid cycle or Krebs cycle, we have a molecule, we usually call that pyruvate. Now this pyruvate will be converted into acetyl coenzyme. And this acetyl coenzyme are actually what? This acetyl coenzyme are actually oxidizing molecule. This is actually oxidizing molecule. The antibiotic in this case, this antibiotic metronidazole comes and effect on that area. So what actually happen? After that, molecules which are present inside the bacterial cell, we usually call it pyridoxine. So this pyridoxine is actually in a oxidized form, and they will be in a reduced form as well. Pyridoxine. Now what actually happen? In this case, let me write here reduce in form. What actually happen? The metronidazole comes and they affect this process, or they can convert this free redoxine again into free redoxine in oxidized form by using, now this will be NAD and this will be NADH. So due to this NAD, so this free redoxine is in oxidized form and they have NAD. So then they convert this NAD to NADH, and then this pyridoxine is now in oxidized form, they will be converted into reduced form. All of you better know that in oxidation the electron will be loosed, and in reduction the electron will be gained. Fine. So what actually happened, this pyridoxine reduce, or this pyridoxine release their electron and shift to this pyridoxine. So this pyridoxine actually accept the electron, and again this process will be back. We can say this pyridoxine is now, when they are in a reduced form, they will again convert in the oxidizing form whenever we give this antibiotic. It is very complicated and complex topic, so please pay attention here that what actually happened. In next process, after that we have another molecules, we call that we call that RNO2. This RNO2 are actually in a redox form. What actually? These RNO2 are actually in a redox form. We can, sorry, these RNO2 are actually in a reduced form. So once these RNO2 are actually in a reduced form, so they will be converted into RNO2 with a lone pair, and we call that oxidize. So they will be converted into oxidized form as well. So let me once again tell you that what actually happened after this process. So there will be another compound produced during this process. Another molecule are produced, not compound, another molecule are produced in this after that process. We call it RNA2. This RNA2 is actually in a reduced form, but due to this antibiotic they will be shifted into oxidized form, and after shifting this oxidized form they again reduce to this RNO2 as well. So again the process will be going and going on, and then we also get, so finally we can say that we can get what? We get the oxygen. Now this oxygen is actually what? This oxygen is actually normal one oxygen. But due to this metronidazole, this oxygen will be converted into a superoxide, having the lone pair. This is what? This is actually a lone pair. Now due to this lone pair, we call this superoxide, or we can say free radical. This is actually superoxide, or what? This is actually free radical as well. So we can also call that superoxide or free radical as well. So that's how this superoxide or free radical will be produced. After that, this free radical will comes and attach to DNA, and they cause the DNA damage. DNA will be damaged, or we can also say the cell membrane, cell wall, and other material which are present inside the cells will be damaged. We can also say that this drugs is actually a bactericidal in nature. Why? They can kill the bacteria as well. They can also stop the growth of the bacteria when the DNA is damaged, so the bacterial growth will also be halted. But in some cases, these drugs are also bactericidal in nature. So I am not writing here a bactericidal or bacteriostatic, because they can convert it into bactericidal as well as into bacteriostatic. So that's all about the mode of action of this metronidazole. This metronidazole actually use this free radical compound, and what actually how they can produce this free radical compound, we can say this metronidazole actually produce this free radical compound by redox reaction. We can say redox molecules. So all these are what? All these are the redox phenomena. All these are the redox molecules, or all these are the redox potential. This is actually redox potential. We can also say redox potential. Actually all these are what? Redox potential as well. So all these are the redox. So due to this redox potential, free radical compound will be produced. So once free radical compound, or we can say molecules, are produced, so it will can cause the DNA damage as well. So that's how they can produce the free radical molecules and cause the DNA damages. Fine. Now let's talk about the antibacterial spectrum of these drugs. Now if we talk the antibacterial spectrum, bacterial spectrum, so these drugs will be activated against Fusobacterium species and Clostridium species. So against these kinds of species, or we can say this kind of bacterial species, this antibiotic will show good result. Although there are some other bacteria, but I don't remember the name of these bacteria as well. These are the common bacteria. So that's all about the metronidazole. Inshallah, in the next video we are going to talk about the resistance which are activated against this metronidazole. We'll be talking inshallah in the next video lecture. So please stay tuned and continue to watch the rest of the video regarding with the metronidazole. Thank you so much.